It's time to shake the focus up. Sick of being sick and tired, tell me if you had enough. Yeah, it's Shook's in the building now. We ain't missing nothing, we gon' catch you if they got a rough. It's good, y'all. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another episode. And in this one, we're gonna be taking a look at this Dovu Twitter space. This one is from November 19th, but it's one that I was actually able to join. Pretty decent space, decent information given out in this one. Irfan joined, so you know we got some nuggets there. But a really dope space. I got about 15 minutes of it chunked out here. After we listen to that, we're gonna get into a little bit of speculation about what I think Dovu may be working on in the background as far as partnerships go. But let's go ahead and kick this thing off. We're gonna start off with the host telling us a little bit about the token, the status, the staking, the holders, and things of that nature. So let's get it.
So Dovu was on Ethereum and also on other chains, migrated to Hedera in 2023, back in September. That was when the full migration was completed. And since then, we've actually grown. At that time, we had around just under 10,000 holders, perhaps, and now we're approaching 16,000 holders. We've had 4 million transactions processed through on the HTS, and we're continuing to see growth. Right now, we've got just under 40% of our tokens staked, which is another metric that's important. Our staking protocol is second to none. I can't find a single staking protocol that beats it as far as the functionality and how it works. And for those of you that don't know, all your tokens are liquid. You can unstake, withdraw at any time. They never leave your wallet. They are always just sitting in your wallet. And you also get airdrops every day of your staking rewards. And there's no other staking out there like that doesn't have custody risk or smart contract risk or impermanent loss risk or other factors. And that's really why it's the best. So there's obviously a lot of room for growth as far as the percentage staked. Have to say I'm a little bit disappointed. Only 40% of you guys are staking your token.
So let's talk about that real quick. So I think actually 40% is a pretty good number. Like it's just shy of 50% of the tokens being staked. So yeah, 16,000 holders. So that's what, probably somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 folks have got their tokens staked. So that's actually a pretty good number, and that staking is pretty good. I will say that from what I've seen, it is one of the best staking programs out there. There's a couple other ones that I've discovered recently that I think are gonna give it some competition here, but it's definitely pretty good. So if you're interested in figuring out what that staking, how that staking works, you can come over here to the channel and check out. I got a Dovu playlist here, and if you scroll down, it's in this one here. This Dovu is quietly building. Let's just click on it real quick. Pretty sure. Let's check here. Yeah, yep, this is the one here. So this tells you about purchasing the carbon credits and the staking and how that goes down. Now, if you're actually interested in figuring out how to buy Dovu through DeFi, that is something that's over on the Patreon, and I believe I have that one available as an a la carte deal. Yeah, getting Dovu through DeFi, so that's available as an a la carte deal. So you don't have to become a member if you don't want to. You can just grab that post. But that's enough about that. But the Dovu staking program, definitely make sure you come over here and check out, at the very least, this video if you want to figure out how that staking works. So it's pretty bomb. The only thing that I will say is the actual percentage could be higher, but the flexibility that it gives you in terms of being able to either purchase more tokens so that that set amount you're receiving is the total amount of tokens is higher, or going in and purchasing a carbon credit so that your multiplier gets increased. That sort of flexibility I have not seen anywhere else. So that is really dope. And then you add on the fact that this carbon market is building out, and so now you have these carbon credits. When those marketplaces are ready, you're gonna be ready to cook. So let's go ahead, and I believe next we got some info coming from Irfan. Let's keep it moving.
While we're waiting for that, let me just give you an update. I know it was touched upon earlier in terms of the recent COP event, but actually over the last couple of months, we've not only had the COP event over in Azerbaijan, but a fantastic event over in Delhi as well, building our global partnerships. And what does that mean? Because there's partnerships and there's partnerships. Some are paper partnerships, some are real partnerships. In our case, it's partnerships that can deliver millions of tons of carbon onto our platform. And millions of tons of carbon onto our platform equals millions of Dovu tokens that need to accompany those tons of carbon. So the more carbon we mint, the more carbon on our platform, the more Dovu tokens have to be acquired in order for the Dovu OS system to function in the way that we're designing it and building it out. So that's really what we're focused on now. We've built the technology, we've proven that it works, we're scaling it up, and now we're ready to get to the next stage of the growth of the company, which we're really excited about. And, there's a huge appetite from project developers out there. And when I mean project developers, I mean carbon and ecological project developers, to work with us to onboard their credits in order for us to make those credits available. And just to be clear, our mission is to digitize ecological and carbon credits.
Okay, so he said a handful right here. Before we keep going, there's one question that did come up, and this was the question I was trying to ask, and I was having some audio trouble, so my question didn't come through clearly. But back here, when he said that onboarding these millions of carbon credits is going to require the acquisition of millions of Dovu tokens, what I wanted to verify there was that they're going to have to buy those tokens off the marketplace, right? Those tokens that are available, they're going to have to buy those tokens from the marketplace. And if that is true, if these are facts, then you're going to be looking at a supply shock for Dovu real quick here. What did old boy say? Let's go back, man. I love it because I reference this so much because he just hit it right on the head. And it's actually, I think, I believe it's our channel shortcut here. Yeah, right here. You know what it is. Where you at? You know what 25 for the win? What did he say? Said Dovu is about to change the game. First mover advantage with a foot on the neck of this industry. And at this price, we can all stack a few million of these. I think I saw someone say that only 10,000 people can own a million of these or something like that. So you're talking about short supply, and they're going to have to reacquire millions of these tokens in order to match them up with these carbon credits. If I'm understanding that correctly, we're going to be looking at a supply shock. So I hope somebody watches this who can verify that information. That's the question that I was trying to get to Irfan and I was having sound issues on. But man, y'all, if that is true, my.
Stage of the growth of the company, which we're really excited about. And, there's a huge appetite from project developers out there. And when I mean project developers, I mean carbon and ecological project developers, to work with us to onboard their credits in order for us to make those credits available. And just to be clear, our mission is to digitize ecological and carbon credits. It's essential that these credits are digitizer and on chain. And the reason why it's essential is because you need to be able to find them. You need to be able to find the price of them. You need to be able to prove that they exist. You need to be able to audit them. And you need to make them available globally as fast as you possibly can. And, working with Hedera and the Guardian, it's a fantastic infrastructure for us to be working on. And it's taken time for us to get to where we are, but it's all about scale now. It's all about scale, and that's what we're really excited about. And one of the other elements of the requirement to digitize carbon credits and to make that metadata available to be searched is because we're going to be entering into, over the next few years, AI agent-based inquiries. It's going to be AI looking for carbon credits. They're going to be searching for carbon credits that an organization wants to acquire.
Whoa! What he said? The AI agents are going to need to be able to find these carbon credits. The AI agents are going to be the ones searching for these carbon credits. Right now, 5-10 years in the future was the timeline given, right? But you get it. It fits in with the automation standpoint, right? These businesses aren't going to want to have a person going and searching for the carbon credits to buy as a very manual process. They're going to want it automated. Or just think, let's even get crazy. Let's say an autonomous vehicle organization wants to be run, and say the vehicle's not rated for zero emissions or whatever. So now the vehicle has to go out and, it's paying its carbon tax in some sort of way. You know what I mean? So this is, man, there's so much here, man. There's so much here. Let's keep going.
Carbon credits. They're going to be searching for carbon credits that an organization wants to acquire, and those agents need to be able to find those credits, and therefore they have to be digital. You have to have data standardization, and really that's what, as I say, Dovu is all about. I'll stop talking now and answer any questions.
That's really exciting, Erwan. Thanks for sharing that. I've got a couple questions here. First, we'll go to ShookFocuz. I'm approving you now to speak. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, and my first question, you couldn't really hear me. I was having audio issues. I was A, not in a place that was super quiet, and B, the Twitter space was really delayed for some reason. But my first question was really, and again, somebody can ask this question back if y'all find another AMA or something that I missed, or if y'all know, go ahead and answer in the comment section. But the first question was really trying to verify what he was speaking about with onboarding the millions of carbon credits, right? He spoke on saying, hey, if we onboard these millions of carbon credits, we're going to need millions of Dovu tokens to go with them, right? Speaking of needing to acquire those millions of Dovu tokens. That was really what the first question was. And then he answered the second question. So we'll go ahead and let's get this through. But the second question was kind of choppy too. It was just me asking about the competition in the space. There's a lot of other carbon projects that have kind of come out, and a lot of them are making some pretty bold claims. And so I was just curious, at Dovu being one that's been working in its own little niche area for a while now, does any of these new projects, sort of invite any sort of competition? And I think Erwan answered that question extremely well. So let's go ahead.
How do you feel going up against some of the other carbon credit projects that are starting to build things out?
So I only hear the last part of that. From my perspective, I just hear the bit about something about supply, and then it was the other part of the question was about competition. I can deal with the competition one, and then if you want to come back or if anybody else heard what the first part of the question was, if they could let me know, that would be great. So the second part of it, in terms of the competition, this is such a nascent industry that competition isn't really something that should concern anybody right now. The expected market size for ecological and carbon sort of assets and credits over the coming years, and I'm saying over the next 10 years, is going to grow exponentially. So we're at that stage really where we shouldn't care about what other people are doing. We're very clear about what we do. We're very clear that we have a market for what it is that we're doing, and we're just sort of heads down doing it. We do things a little different. What we don't do is tokenize old carbon from existing registries, which some of our Web3 partners and companies have done in the past. We try to get new carbon onto the system because the world needs new projects, not rehashing old projects and sticking them onto a Web3 platform and trying to make them excited. There's no fun in that, and there's no
I mean, I will, subtle shots, subtle shots.
I don't see where the value is in that, frankly. So there isn't enough quality carbon credits out there in the world to fit the requirements of the vast majority of global corporations that have made a commitment to be net zero by a certain time. So we need to get new carbon on board as quickly as possible. That was the second part of the question. I don't know what the first part was.
Yeah, so again, thanks for answering those questions. Very, very nicely done. While we're on the subject of answering questions, I just want to say that this is like a class on what an AMA is. It's a lot of projects out here that say they do AMAs, but they don't really do AMAs. Like this is a bunch of people who've been trying to learn about the project, joining the Twitter space, and literally asking anything. Like there was no scripted questions here. There was no, you can't ask me about that. You know what I mean? Like he just carries himself in a way that doesn't invite the stupid questions to begin with. And so you can have a natural AMA like this. I just thought this was dope. So up next, we got a question from Winky Crypto Boy here. Shout out to Winky Crypto Boy. And I had no idea who Winky was up until this AMA, and to find out that Winky is a big deal here. Let's go ahead and listen to the question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I am working at a major USA based university in Earth and planetary sciences. We are interested in procuring Dovu tokens with US fiat dollars, and we were wondering if you can list on Coinbase or a US-based central exchange so that we may procure Dovu tokens. And personally, I am also all in.
Well, thanks for that. And if you've got some access into Coinbase, just let me know. I don't know Brian myself, but I would love to be listed there. I mean, it's a real challenge when you've got a company like ours to separate the sort of the reality of tokens such as Dog with Hat being listed on maybe Coinbase, and companies like Dovu not. So you've got and it's all about volume, and it's all about liquidity, and it's all about
facts. He dropping major facts right now. Let me let him finish.
How much money and revenue that can be earned. And the size of Dovu as it sits right now, and the size of community as it sits right now, the only reason that a tier one exchange would list us would be because they looked at the overall project and went like, this is a project that we want to be associated with. But right now, the projects that they want to be associated with is a little bit more rudimental in its sort of in their requirements and its volume, revenue, community, size. So long answer to your question, but I I'd love to be able to offer solutions where you could use your USD, your fiat currency in the US, and purchase sort of Dovu tokens. That sort of that isn't sort of there at the moment. However, we are approved as a token across the US and across sort of Europe in terms of its utility, and not for it not contravening any regulations. So hopefully one day soon we'll be able to be on an exchange where you can do that.
So
thank you very much, Irfan. We really appreciate it, and we love Dovu here at the university. God bless you.
Thanks very much, and really appreciate it. It means a lot.
So yeah, so in short, he just gave us the game, right? Like right now, everybody's still paying attention to the memes. Everybody's chasing the memes in the communities right now. There's not a lot of focus on utility, but that's gonna change. That's definitely gonna change. But so yeah, unless Coinbase is out there hunting for utility tokens, they're not gonna come find Dovu. So that sort of thing, it sounds to me like being listed on more exchanges will be a thing that happens later on down the line. But we know how to get there via DeFi. So the institutions can't get there just yet, because who's setting up a wallet and all that stuff under institution name. But you get the point. There was one more question here that was pretty dope. I think we'll go ahead and let that one run. It was around staking.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for bringing me up. This will be a real quick question. It's just in regards to staking. Do you foresee the staking rewards payout and mechanism to continue as it is in perpetuity? Or do you foresee some changes? Is there a chance that the rewards would run out at any given time? Just kind of like an update on what you see for the future of staking within Dovu.
Yeah, good question. We love our staking mechanism, and I think it's a really important element of what it is that we do. And part of the token economics of the business really would require that treasury to be continually stocked up to ensure that staking happens. So, that would mean, when we talk about Dovu operating system, the requirement for Dovu to operate within the system, but also the requirement for us to keep topping up our treasury in order for the token economic system to work. So, long answer to your question, but we anticipate and are planning and working on the model that that system will keep running, and staking will be forever part of our sort of setup.
Beautiful. So staking ain't going nowhere. Staking's gonna be around. It'll probably change a little bit. I don't know if it'll remain as easily accessible and manipulable as it is right now, but you heard it right there. Staking, the plans is for staking to stay around. So all right, here we go, man. So here comes that speculation piece. You already know what it's time for, man. You know what we about to do. You know what we about to do. So Dovu will always be native to Hedera. The team has said that on a number of occasions. They do believe in cross-chain, so they're going to be working to make sure that Dovu is available on other chains, but they want to remain natively with Hedera. In fact, they've also said that the staking mechanism, the way that the staking is built out, if it were to continue, that's also going to remain with Hedera. So that puts Dovu in a really good position. Because it's running on Hedera, that gives these companies access to Dovu. The companies that are on the governing council. So it's a lot easier to have that conversation. And when you listen to what needs to be done,
there isn't enough quality carbon credits out there in the world to fit the requirements of the vast majority of global corporations that have made a commitment to be net zero by a certain time.
Could any of these be corporates that need to obtain carbon credits in order to be neutral by 2030? Would they not be interested in procuring some carbon credits and not have easy access to Dovu since it's going to be native to Hedera? Now, why would these, what would give us the idea that these companies would even be interested in purchasing carbon credits, right? Even if we take the fact that Dovu is there on Hedera out of it. Well, that's because Hedera itself is already buying carbon offsets. So Hedera is purchasing carbon offset certificates. Now, Hedera has adopted, let me zoom that in. Hedera has adopted environmental sustainability as a core value and is officially committed to carbon negative network operations by purchasing carbon offsets quarterly, with amounts determined by the third-party asset provider TerraPass. So Hedera is already purchasing carbon credits, and TerraPass is determining the amount of which need to be purchased. Now, this is where this speculation starts to really heat up at. What if, again, this is what if, this is not fact, this has not been confirmed anywhere. What if one of these partnerships, hold up, what if one of these partnerships that Dovu is working on happens to be TerraPass? I'm going to show you why that would be ginormous. Remember, he spoke of projects or partnerships that could bring millions of carbon credits onto their platforms, right? I want to show you why TerraPass could have access to millions of carbon credits as they are determining the amount that Hedera needs to purchase to work on its neutrality. Let's take a look at TerraPass. TerraPass. Buy carbon credits to offset your carbon footprint. You can see here they got products for individuals, products for businesses. I think this individual piece kind of foretells some things that could come in the future as far as having, really old cars and stuff like that on the road. But getting right into the interesting stuff here. So the projects they support, they've got some forestry projects here, which I thought shared some similarities with some of the projects that Dovu is into. But where it really gets interesting and why Dovu could be a help here, I'm not sure how hard TerraPass is struggling in this area, but they have a ginormous clients list. I'm not going to take you through all of these, but I'll just pick out a couple of the top ones that I saw in there. Expedia's in here, Adobe's in here. They had University of Wisconsin. University of Wisconsin Madison is in here. And then the Maryland Law Society as well. So we know that at some point the laws are going to have to come into effect for some of this stuff to be pushed as you would expect. But with a client list this big, one of the things that's not very much talked about with Dovu is something that was also referenced here, is the AI piece. Dovu can onboard these projects so fast because they found ways to use AI to help automate so much of this process. So if they partner with, look at who they could be providing services for if they were to partner with TerraPass. That would be huge. And TerraPass is already working with Hedera, so it would only make so much sense. My goodness, like this, it would only make so much sense. And there's something else here that we're going to be coming back to. Not in this video. We're going to save it. But we're going to come back to something with this governing council. We're going to come back to something with this governing council. Starting to make some more connections here, y'all. Starting to make some more connections. But that'll pretty much do it for this video, man. As we get ready to head out, let's go ahead and take a look at Dovu, see how it's been doing. We can see that over the year, 248, 147 on the 30-day, really nice, 138 on the 14, and then the 7-day, 22%, not too bad there either. You can see that we did get that double up. We'd love to see it. So Dovu held its own here, hasn't really made a whole lot of noise, but it made a lot of noise earlier this year. And so if any of these partnerships come to fruition in December that they're working on, I think that could spell out some very great things for Dovu, especially any projects that talk about bringing carbon credits with them. So the question for this one, man, is really quite simple, y'all. Would that introduce a supply shock if Dovu onboarded millions of carbon credits and needed to acquire millions of tokens to support that effort? Until next time, don't get shook. Stay focused. And I'm out.
While we're waiting for that, let me just give you an update. I know it was touched upon earlier in terms of the recent COP event. But actually over the last couple of months, we've not only had the COP event over in Azerbaijan, but a fantastic event over in Delhi as well, building our global partnerships. And what does that mean? You know, because there's partnerships and there's partnerships. Some are paper partnerships, some are real partnerships. In our case, it's partnerships that can deliver millions of tons of carbon onto our platform. And millions of tons of carbon onto our platform equals millions of Dovu tokens that need to accompany those tons of carbon.